Graphic novels are a great way to get kids to read, especially reluctant readers or those upper elementary school kids, those middle school kids who maybe they know they should read, but they either lack the confidence or it's too difficult or somewhere in between. Thus, graphic novels, they have a great place in my heart. Black Lives, Great Minds of Science is a graphic novel that profiles 9 black STEM scientist folks. And the reason we can't really say, yeah, it's awesome, is twofold. It's partially the same issue that we have with Hazardous Tales, in that the font in Black Lives, Great Minds of Science, the font is a little small, and my middle-aged eyes can't read it that well. Of course, if you're in elementary school or middle school, you won't have that problem. You're like, sweet, let me get my hands on it. I want to read about it. And that's totally cool. The other thing that is going to be limiting for the book as a series is Black Lives is a new book series, a new graphic novel book series. This is the first one, Black Lives, number 1, or Black Lives, Great Minds of Science. With me? Great. The problem is when you hear Black Lives, you expect to hear matter at the end of it. And then it becomes a political thing, and you're like, well, I don't want to read a political book, and this is not a political book. There is only one instance in the book, and that's because one of the scientists had a sign on their bicycle when they bicycled across the country, across the United States of America. Otherwise, the book is apolitical. It's all science, and it's not really, it doesn't have a certain age to it per se. It's got some older scientists, some scientists from different genealogies and different studies. And that's going to be the other thing, because science is a huge, massive field. And if the second book in the Black Lives series, see, you want to say Black Lives Matter, don't you? The second book in the series, if it's not Black Lives 2 or Great Minds of Science 2, then it's going to be really limiting, because there are 9 scientists profiled in the book. And science has so many fields of study. But if you just say Black Lives, Great Minds of Geology or Great Minds of Medicine, actually medicine could withstand a couple of books, or at least one book just of medical folks, nurses, doctors who have made great leaps in that field. Science is so much that it's got the second book in the series almost has to be called Great Minds of Science 2, or it's going to be limiting, or the field of geology is really going to open up. So it's a nitpicky thing, but having said all that, it's a series that some schools and some libraries are going to need to have, because it's really going to speak to those kids who otherwise wouldn't open the book. And they're like, hey, these are people like me, and if they had my background, and I'm thinking I can't do it, but this person did it, then heck, I can do it too. So to that end, it falls under the category of no book is a bad book. We have that, but we have read some bad books. This isn't a bad book per se, it just is limiting, and I wish it wasn't so limiting. But having said that, if you need this book, you need it. It is Black Lives 1, Black Lives, Great Minds of Science. And it's from Tanya Bolden with illustrations by David Wilkerson.